So, in the meantime, draft is up. We're on the map veto. Oh, look at that timing. 30 seconds. That was literally as it hit. So, here's the draft. The map veto. What would you like to see other than Haunted Mines?
So, are we ruling Haunted Mines out?
I mean, I would love to see it, but other than Haunted Mines, what would be your second pick?
Well, you do know, I do say I really love Infernal Shrines. Infernal Shrines is one of my favourite maps here. However, I do feel that Battlefield of Eternity doesn't get as much love as it should, just like Haunted Mines. So, we saw Infernal Shrines last week. I would love to see Battlefield of Eternity.
Okay, cool. That makes a lot of sense. What was that?
Oh, I didn't mute my mic quick enough. That was me just opening a fresh bottle of fizz.
I thought you were telling me to shush really loudly. I thought you were going, shh. I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
That was actually a bottle being opened under the table. One of the problems I have with my mic is that it's very good at picking me up and not picking up noises that I make while I'm talking. However, when it's quiet, the slightest noise somewhere in the room and the microphone goes, oh, someone's trying to talk, boost that as much as I can. It's like, no microphone, be good.
So, yeah, no worries.
So Haunted Mines has gone.
Unfortunately.
And we are down to 3. We are either having Cursed Hollow, Battlefield of Eternity, or Infernal Shrines.
Now,
so
I would like either of the non-cursed hollows.
I'm a happy man. Yeah, there's a 2 out of 3 chance I'm a happy man. Probably about to go to a 50-50 chance I'm a happy man.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's okay with Cursed Hollow. We've just cast it so much, we want to see the other maps more. I'd actually like to see some Booty Bay, some Black House Bay more, but no, Cursed Hollow is going to be banned out.
100% chance!
Battlefield of Eternity.
Or Infernal
Shrines. I think Infernal Shrines is a more balanced map and is a much more interesting map to see, and we are going to end up getting that, so that makes me happier than Battlefield of Eternity. Because
I do love Infernal Shrines. It is my favourite map on just in game in general, and it's fantastic because it makes you bring a mix of teamfight and objective control. Because yes, you do have team fights, but a lot of the time your team fights, you can be in a position where you're trying to assault a team that's holding the objective from you, or defending that objective, much like in Sky Temple and such things. But actually the objective hits back in this one, because the little guardians that you try to kill, if you don't kill them, do sort of get in the way of a lot of your AoE abilities. If you're... but then you can use them as an advantage, so if you take a KO Thrust and you get your Chain Bomb, your chain bomb is on them, they happen to run next to an enemy as they explode. Well, you've just passed your chain bomb on again. So I like it. I like it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, entirely with you there. Jaina going to be the first ban. My internet's lagging just a little bit, so sorry if I drop any frames. It should be okay though. It seems okay. But in the meantime, yeah, like I say, first ban going Jaina, second ban going out to the Tassadar. So Atrox don't want to have to be up against a powerful range assassin. They're going to ban out the other mage as 1 out of 5 Skraka. They will still be 1 out of 5. I'm going to ignore the 2 out of 10. Is going to ban out Tassadar. Don't want to be up against that off support. And this is something we saw them do a lot. They were banning out Tyrande and then picking up Tassadar, or the other time. The one game they didn't ban out Tyrande, ban out Tyrande, they banned out Tassadar and actually picked up Tyrande themselves. So Atrox going to go with that first pick, Kael'thas again. 2 out of 10, going to grab the Uther Murden as the top tier picks of just in general.
Ooh, I personally would have been picking up the Tyrande and the Tyrael right there. But Tyrael's still open, Tyrande's still open. There's still a lot of power available right now to either team. And Abathur, we haven't seen Abathur come out for either of these teams yet. I'm wondering if either of them do have an Abathur player there.
Yeah, that would be that'd be great to see. Especially since on this map it's another big map. It's quite like Cursed Hollow, but it's not quite as big. So Abathur can do a lot of work, but not as much as say on Cursed Hollow or Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah, definitely there. So, the Johanna and the Reyna pickup. Atrox eSport Green are the retro team. I'm liking it.
Yeah, I mean, nothing more we can really say about that. I love the fact that Rayner's picked up here. I think Rayner's a good pick, and he has been for a long time. Johanna, I mean, when you don't have Muradin, you grab Johanna. That's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, we have seen a variety of tanks coming out these days with Diablo and ETC firmly back into the meta. So it's more about how your team comp's going to fit together. And obviously, Atrox, eSports Green either feel more comfortable on that Johanna, or they feel that Johanna's going to offer their team a lot more. And we'll be interested to see what they are looking to do there, because at the moment they've got the AoE Condemn from Johanna and the Chaos Thirst's Chain Bombs, which are going to spread, which are going to be really nice. And the Rayner's able to pick up single targets off if he needs to, so that sounds pretty good there. So the bans are in. Karazim being banned out there for 1 out of 5, and Kerrigan being banned by Atrox eSports Green.
Yeah. That's really nice to see. I think the Kerrigan ban makes a lot of sense. You don't want to give a Divine Shield to Kerrigan teams. Basically, you don't want to give the Kerrigan to teams who have Uther. We saw the devastation that it caused. I mean, most of the time Uther was fine and was being dealt with okay, unless there's a Kerrigan on the team. In which every time there's a Kerrigan on the team, the Kerrigan wrecked face. There was not really much more we can say about it. That's what happened, and that's what kept me up that night, last night.
Yeah, we saw Maximus absolutely destroying with the Kerrigan comp last week. If I believe, was it not Uther and Tassadar with the Kerrigan to just say, yeah, you are never killing this Kerrigan, she's going to destroy you.
That's exactly what she did. Just as a quick message to all the teams, if you have already submitted the score, what you can do is you can send me the replay file and I can upload it onto the Battle.net thing. I did that with the Crazy 9 and the Atrox because I cast it, so already had the replay, and Infinity and Mouse Control did that themselves with theirs. So the replay file is uploaded there for free to be downloaded by anybody, as well as information about the match. So that's really cool, the Battlefire doing that.
They can actually drag it on themselves. So
yes,
they
but
can
the score can't be reported before then.
Ah, okay.
So if you've already reported your score...
I know, I can see that it's already there.
Yeah,
with the report.
I was dragging it in, but it was giving me an error saying the game is already over, the match, the score has been reported, so what it does is it actually finds the score out of the replay file itself as to who won. So it does all that very smartly, so that's good. Meanwhile, 2 out of 10, they pick up Sylvanas and Tyrande. Sorry, 1 out of 5, they pick up Sylvanas and Tyrande. Sylvanas, I mean, she's okay with Infernal Shrines. Again, I'm going to keep comparing it to Curse Hollow because it's like Curse Hollow, just a bit smaller. That's about it.
It's like Curse Hollow. I guess it is kind of like Curse Hollow in map size and such things, but your objectives are a little bit different.
Just a little bit smaller.
Yeah, there's not the double bosses that you have on Cursed Hollow.
Yeah, which is why Abatha's okay on it, and it's why Sylvanas is again okay on it. There's not really a bad map for either, per se, but Sylvanas is definitely better not better. It's definitely decent on this map as it is. Atrox eSports Green then end up going with the Malfurion, and at this point, I think their decision is whether or not they pick up a second warrior or a third assassin, and they do end up going with the Leoric second warrior, which is
unloaded for me. I've just got a blank blue bar for them, so I was wondering who that was going to be.
Yep.
But so a Leorix, yeah. So a very super tank style of team that they've got there. And the Zeratul being
I was about to say
1 out of 5.
Yeah, 1 out of 5. They'd be happily able to grab, say, a Vala or something, but they do pick up the Zeratul. So the team's not phased by the fact that Zeratul has been nerfed kind of competitively.
He has dropped off sort of for the last few weeks. We've not seen him being picked or even banned for a couple of weeks now, since that big change did happen where his wormhole was changed by half a second, which was enough to stop him being able to QEQ before being able to blink back. And he just dropped off after that. And so it's interesting now, we've seen 2 games and he's been picked up in both of them. Yeah,
I think it's cool to see. And finally, for some reason, my lobby loads, it was taking 1,000 years and was very, very buggy. So I'm going to grab the teams and bring them into the lobby.
Would you say that you were feeling 10,000 years of pain?
It's 10,000 years of darkness.
Of anything. Illidan's just a grumpy sod.
10,000 years of, just
suffering.
10,000 years of darkness. Something like that, I know. So I have invited teams. Oh, we are in the wrong lobby, so we'll leave that one and join that lobby. They already made it. And you join my game, Nick. And we will get this going. So let's go invite to game.
It's not letting me right now. Some slight HOTS issues here.
Yeah, it's been really, really slow trying to get into the lobbies.
Wonder if there are anything. I'm just checking the customer service, see if there's anything going on with it at the moment.
How's it looking?
I can't see anything.
Okay, well that's foreboding.
Okay. Oh, I'm streaming data. There we go. I'm in.
Who's Carlios? Apparently you are playing and Carlios is casting with me, so that's great.
I better get off Skype then.
But no, they'll swap that over soon. So for those who... now, I've got to ask, is betting open? That's what I've got to ask. Is betting open? Oh, I don't see it. I can't see if betting's open.
Not yet, it's not.
Okay, so as far as I'm aware, though, we are going to have 1 out of 5 is our blue team, and Atrox green is going to be our red team, despite what it says on the draft. What you can see now, I'm doing it by bracket order, and Atrox is at the bottom, and 1 out of 5 is at the top, just the way they came through. I mean, look, I'll show you the bracket right now so you know what I mean. As you see, that side, 2 out of 10, 1 out of 5 at the top, Atrox green are just below them. It's really hard to like mirror and get it level. I'm looking at it. Okay, so bring up the draft again. Who do you think will win? Who do you think has the edge here? Purely based on draft, not based on skill.
Purely based on draft? No, I'm not sure. So Atrox Green, eSport Green is a very super tank. They've got a lot of AoE damage with that Johanna, that Chaos when they get to that point. So we're looking for level 13 before Atrox eSport Green really kick in. 1 out of 5. We've seen Tyrande do a lot of work. We've seen Sylvanas do a lot of work with split push. Muradin and Uther are able to hold their own. The Zerator's throwing me for one because I'm not sure what to expect here. If 1 out of 5 can get the level advantage and maybe not even need to fight, just stay ahead in levels, keep pushing anytime there's an objective, get ahead of Atrox eSport Green, they could take a few good fights and win off the back of that. That's purely talking from comp perspective. Obviously, we do know 1 out of 5 are a very good and very confident team. So we'll see how that does match up, as we haven't seen Atrox eSport Green against any of our veteran teams, shall we say. So it'll be good to see who comes out top. I'm going to go with Atrox eSport Green on a purely comp basis, because I do think once they hit 13, that AoE damage on an objective fight is going to be insane.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually going to go for 1 out of 5's composition, and not because I favour 1 out of 5, because I favour double support. I mean, I'm a big double support man. Tyrande's off true. Support, and I think that she brings so much to a team. She brings a stun, she brings a bit of extra supporting and healing, as well as another healing ulti, which is more likely to see these days than Starfall. But like I say, she brings out all the stun. She brings so much damage amplification that Leoric, who's not a very tanky tank, it mostly comes from like self healing. He's going to get blown up too quickly, and he doesn't really do that much against 1 out of 5 for me. Especially with a well placed Void Prism to cancel out Tranquility, things like that.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be. It's going to have to be whether those Void Prisms can stop the big ultimate from Malfurion, stop the Tranquility, or whether you could, whether Leoric's actually going to be able to latch on to the Muradin or the Uther to drain health. Because if he's latching onto the Zeratul, Tyrande, or Sylvanas, he's not going to get enough regen out of it.
Yeah, and whilst we do say the Void Prism to cancel the Malfurion's ultimate, it doesn't actually cancel it, we know. It simply pauses it, so the healing effect doesn't go on around. It doesn't extend its duration, it pauses it, so there's no healing by it until he's out of that Void Prism. So if he does that, it's effectively cancelling it. It just doesn't cause it to run out. So in the meantime, 1 out of 5, the team I'll be introducing are on the left. So, since you did, Atrox Green last time, so we're going to have Kularion on the Muradin, we're going to have Sergen on that Sylvanas Wolves on the Zeratul Master Skin there, Endo Rocket, the team captain, on the Tyrande, and Gromst on that Uther.
And for Atrox eSport Green, we have Cannibal once again on the Leoric. We have Dizzy on the Flaming Kael'thas. We do have Kalios on Johanna, Katong on Malfurion, and Napagale on Reyna. And once again, they're going to be body blocking this wave.
Both teams are, in fact, I believe 1 out of 5 actually perfected this. As you can see, they're doing these diagonal sweeps across instead of just going in circles, and that pushes a creep to the side instead of trying to actively physically block it, and that's where the block comes in here as the Storm. It's pushing the creeps, not actually stopping them from moving. So they're starting to perfect them. They were using 2 heroes just for that one lane, really, the Leoric and the Tyrande, getting that done.
I saw Uther head straight to the bottom lane, actually, so I was wondering how theirs was going.
Yeah, and theirs was even slightly better, as the equilibrium was like on this line, instead of being here, which would be in the middle.
Yeah.
So for those of the stream, they can see that. You couldn't.
I couldn't, but I could see where it was, so it was pretty good there. So there's some pings out on top as a scouting drone has gone down. Sergen's just going to stop that. No scouting drone for you. And we are going to see the 1 out of 5 rotating up and pushing Atrox eSport Green back behind their gate.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, the Johanna going to get caught out, going to use her trait in order to back off and just tap her healing well and be able to fight for this shrine, which has spawned right in the middle lane. So,
good position for that to spawn for 1 out of 5. They pushed that mid lane in. Kalios is not on particularly high health, and they're very good for them to be able to take the high ground here and see what they can do.
Something Sylvanas did that was very clever there. She just used her Shadow Dagger in order to dismount all of Atrox Green. Zeratul doing a really, really clever blink there in order to get out of danger, as he was caught in a bit of a bad spot there. He's going to come through. There goes the scouting drone. It's not going to spot him out because he doesn't detect invisible. But because of the Leoric at this point, most of these the Guardian kills going the way of as the Kael'thas did.
Yeah.
Atrox Green. So a lot of damage coming out there from 1 out of 5. Malfurion taking a lot of damage, going to get stunned up by the Muradin, going to almost die, going to keep himself alive, but the Leoric's going to fall. Meanwhile, the Reyna's going to fall as well. His adrenaline rush, and that's a full 5-man wipe at this point.
Yeah, 5 for nothing, just over that objective. I mean, Wolf's got into the back line there, put a lot of damage down onto the Kael'thas, and Surgeon saw his time to go in and just basically said, yeah, I'll Haunting Wave over there and we'll take that.
And Leoric died again. He respawned in the middle of the enemy team, and Wraith walked to the rest of the enemy team. He didn't Wraith walk to up, which would have been much safer. He Wraith walked down and giving a kill, though he is back alive again. The Zeratul's scouting out, as is the Muradin. Pretty even over the skulls. 20 to 25 at this point.
Yeah, 1 out of 5 very slow to pick those up, and they are low health, so they are going to. Muradin is going to fall as the entirety of Atrox come back in here. So it looks like the Punisher could be going the way of Atrox, despite losing that
and the
fight.
Zeratul going to come in and just blow up the Malfurion with a quick cleave, plus that Singularity Spike. So really, really well played there. And the Leoric's going to almost died, going to be able to Wraith Walk himself away. Short Wraith Walk, and the stun lands on the Johanna body box coming out from the Uther here, and that's going to be her dead. So, one skull needed. Going to have the Flame Strike come out from the Kael'thas, not pick it up. That is so good for 1 out of 5 as they're able to kill them out. The Kael'thas actually going to die for the efforts as well. Reyna trying to get that one, doesn't. The Leoric going to come in, going to swing, and it is going to go with the Leoric. Cannibal throwing his life, but they do get a Punisher.
11 bodies thrown to get that objective for Atrox eSport Green. It took 11 deaths, but they got the Punisher.
That was commitment, and it was for the first Punisher at the 4-minute mark. That was great. I love that.
So Punisher going to take down the gate. Doesn't even pick up either of the towers. Just picks up the middle gate.
They really wanted that last creep. They sacrificed 3 for it, and eventually they did end up getting it.
If you throw enough bodies at something, you'll eventually win, right?
That's the Zeratul theory. Sorry, the Murky theory these days.
The Murky theory, yeah.
I would say Zeratul, but we don't see it.
It's the Cloud9 road to victory. Yes. If you saw any of BlizzCon. But yes, Cannibal is down here on his own in the bottom lane, and there are 4 members of 1 out of 5 around at the moment. He is aware there's at least 2 of them, so he's staying safe as he can. Zeratul, though, going to see if he can take this tank down. No, it's a little bit of damage, walk away.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the top lane Savance was doing good to keep her. Was doing very well at keeping herself safe. As it looks like a potential hard camp attempt here. From something I didn't mention was the scouting drones on the Malfurion. They've been doing a lot of work so far. They don't actually detect stealthy, but it's really, really good vision in order for you to use your eyes to see where the Zeratul is. If you just look for the shimmer, obviously, that's what I mean by using your eyes. I sounded really patronising and condescending. Shimmers can be difficult to see, especially in situations, but if you eliminate the fact that you wouldn't be able to see around corners or smoke or behind walls and things by putting a scouting drone, that can really, really help you out with detecting when and where his ganks are coming from.
Yeah, definitely. So
full owl build out for the Tyrande as well so far, in power and pierce.
Ooh, I didn't notice that. Also with the Zeratul picking up Seasoned Marksman and Focus Attack with the searing attacks there. So that auto attack Zeratul build is coming out, and we do see the heroics coming down.
1 out of 5 so far. Confident talent choices. They're not bad. They're
Shadow Assault.
Yeah, so again, it's not necessarily bad, it's confident plays coming out here. Talent choices coming out.
Starfall coming out of Tyrande, not the Shadow Stalk.
Interesting. I'm pretty sure that that Shadow Assault is literally, I'm going to kill Kael'thas and then you don't have damage. Yes, Reyna does a lot of damage, but that he can be locked down happily with an Uther plus a Tyrande. Well. I mean, anyone can, but if the Zeratul blows up the Kael'thas, the easiest target to blow up before 16, then that's fine. Muradin going to get caught out here by Gravity Lapse, going to jump himself away. He has taken a lot of damage though.
Yeah, and actually, 1 out of 5 backing away from that objective once that Muradin took a lot of damage. Atrox were sitting, looking at it, but not wanting to pressure in. They know they are down heroics at the moment, wanting to just farm those lanes up and get the experience to get the heroics themselves, so they can look to take a fight. Because at the moment, they're very disadvantaged not having those heroics. Yeah. But
and now that they have hit their 10, this is potentially where an engagement happens with Johanna's coming up with that Blessed Shield. And a bit of engagement happening. Good Lunar Flare landing on Kael'thas and the Reyna. He's going to end up falling. The Shadow Assault coming out from the Zeratul. He's going to blink himself away, but going to end up falling. Reyna, Adrenaline Rush, keeping himself alive. Pierce plus Empower Owl landing on neither, despite looking like it was going to. Good stun from Cooler on that Muradin. Massive follow-up Lunar Flare from the Tyrande. I thought Malfurion was dead for sure, but no, he's going to be able to heal himself up. Meanwhile, the Reyna doing a lot of damage to the Muradin. Might end up falling here, but no, he pops his avatar, gets a great double stun, and then a double Sentinel out from the Tyrande. That's going to pick up the Johanna and the Malfurion, as these last 3 little minion kills required for 1 out of 5 to pick up this Arcane Punisher again.
Yeah, so strongest Punisher here coming out for 1 out of 5, and that's going to push on the top, which the gate is already down on from just AoE effects of the fight that was going on there. So this should hopefully, for 1 out of 5, pick the first 4 of the game up.
Yeah, Kael'thas needs to be a bit careful here, as he's taking a lot of damage from those Arcane Enchanters, but Johanna going to accept the stun from the Punisher to pull it back and try and kill it safely. Fort will probably end up falling, but we're going to have an engagement here. Kael'thas actually going to fall to the Uther there, plus the Zeratul having jumped in, and still 20 seconds
nice
off
double
the Shadow
stun
Sword.
there,
Yeah,
and
really
then
good double stun.
followed
The
up
Lunar Flare coming in, get a stun, going to follow that up. Meanwhile, the Johanna getting caught out and just body blocked to follow it from the stuns. They've just got too much control on the side of 1 out of 5. They are 3 levels ahead, or rather 2 and a bit. Have a talent point advantage, and we are going to see Assassin's Blade come out from Zeratul, so even more burst damage potential coming out from him after he uses his ultimate.
He just wants to blow everything up, that Zeratul does. He's going to take out your Chaos to see what he can do there.
An interesting adaptation of the build, because it doesn't require Wormhole at all. It's really all in. Like, he does his damage and then he dies. That's what's going to happen every time here, as that's what we saw last time we used the Shadow Sword.
Trading the Zeratul for the Kael'thas is always going to work out in favour of 1 out of 5 there, because that Kael'thas, as we said, is that giant AoE damage machine, and without it, their comp sort of falls apart, and he's getting caught here behind his gate. The Wave and the Shrink Ray taking him very, very low, but he's going to be able to back up. Nice Sentinel out, but he was on the bottom side, not on the top, so didn't connect.
Zeratul looking to maybe blink in and do it, but he doesn't have Wormhole, so wouldn't have a way to get out. Wouldn't be worth it at this point, as a team fight is not ready to be made by 1 out of 5. So just back off. Tyrande going for sprint at level 13. So definitely looking for a way to disengage herself out of things, as we'll probably end up seeing Ranger taken at 16 to go with this Empower Pierce. I mean, you can quite happily take Pierce without Ranger, but if you're going Empower, you're going to go with Ranger.
Yeah, we do see 13 hit for Atrox eSport Green here, so they're going to have those important challenges, the Chain Bomb for the Kael'thas and the Giant Killer for the Rainer, which is going to increase their damage
the game
output.
could turn around for them. 1 out of 5, they're 15 kills ahead at this point, so they take this Bruiser Camp. Murden going to jump himself in, not going to take that though. There is still contention. The Hyperion coming down, good double stun from him as the Johanna and the Leoric falling fast. Leoric gets a good march of Black King, landing on a few there. The Siege Camp does eventually go the way of 1 out of 5. The Leoric not able to pick up the Uther. He's going to end up falling as a result of this. And the Zeratul just shadow sorting his way through. Whoa, that was great to see. As he does pick up 2. The Ranger Arrow actually wasn't Rangers. She's not picked it up yet. Still waiting for that talent choice. Going to end up clearing the Rainer, the last remaining hero alive for Atrox.
During that fight, the Zeratul was threatening the Squishies, just threatening, running at them, and the Divine Shield came down on him, and the Squishies were just like, we kind of need to just stay away from this guys. So very well played there by 1 out of 5, and looks like they're going to be another Punisher up here. We're going to see the Mortar Punisher coming out in 20 more Guardians. We'll see. The Atrox eSports are building back up on that side. There are only 3 members of 1 out of 5 currently on the objective, and there are 4 members of eSport Green coming in. So 1 out of 5 are going to back up and maybe regroup themselves.
Something we didn't mention about the drafts here is the fact that Johanna plus Leoric are really good at taking these Guardians quickly, which is why we saw them so close in the early game. But meanwhile, we're going to have a good Lunar Flare only landing on the Johanna though, and the Mafurian's going to get absolutely blown up by the Zeratul coming in. Divine Shield on the Uther on himself as he walks through that march of the Black King. Leoric taking a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Tyrande with the Shadowfall chasing the Rainer off the back up. The Johanna's going to die because there's no healer there, and that is a full 5-man wipe coming out there just from a great wailing arrow from the Sylvanas. And Avatar not used. Kael'thas almost picking up the Uther, but not able to do so as the Punisher was cleaned up and on the side of 1 out of 5.
Yeah, there was a great Stormbolt double stun onto the back line when Zeratul just went in again. Zeratul is so all in, you need to be afraid of him with the focused attacks, the searing attacks, and now the Berserk with that Shadow Assault.
He's not done that much hero damage, but all of his hero damage comes in bursts once during a fight. He's not able to do much poke without the Wormhole that the Tyrande and the Sylvanas are able to do, so that's why he's so far behind them. But it's kind of unrealistic, that thing. We need a fight recap thing, so we can see how much damage was done in that last engagement.
It is coming, and I do hope that it'll be available for a spectator mode, because it'd be fantastic to show some of the team damage fights. So,
death recap for spectators to show death recaps for individual heroes. That would be fine with me as well. So. Meanwhile, we've got a 4-man party bush happening here. The Auric moves into lane. He's just going to get caught out. The Wraithwalk coming down, chased away. He's dead. March of the Black King making himself stop and keep himself alive for a little bit longer, but that is an ulti used, and he's very dead.
And now they're using their Sylvanas to just backdoor this keep.
This is the exact correct use of the Sylvanas. Just taken it down. It's backdooring, yes, but it's not doing any damage. There's no way that this keep's going to provide any. They're just basically fighting on creep waves.
Yeah, and actually, Atrox eSports not responding in any way. They're all still up in that top and the middle lane. They are 2.5 levels behind at the moment, but yeah.
Johanna gonna get hit by the Stormwalk. Gonna use a trait to dodge the Lunar Flare. Very well played there, though. The Malfurion taking a lot of damage from the Zeratul. That wasn't with the Shadow Assault used at all, though. Just with the Assassin's Blade coming out.
Phoenix coming out.
Phoenix coming out from the Kel'Thas, but he's going to get blown up. Malfurion coming down, not going to be able to do much. His Divine Shield is used on the Zeratul, and his Shadow Assault coming down, doing so much damage. He's going to clean up 3. The Blink onto the Leoric. Not going to be able to finish him off. Taking down to about 2/3 health, but that is a fort down in favour of 1 out of 5. We do have a fort being pushed in by a bruiser camp in the top lane, but it doesn't really matter. At this point, they're going to take a second keep.
Yeah, but all 5 of them are up. 4 members of Atrox eSports Green are down, and they have the Sylvanas, so they can just stop that keep from firing back on them. They're going to pick up their second keep and probably move back to the shrine.
Does Zeratul go with Nerazim's Fury? No, he doesn't. He goes for the Nexus Blade.
Oh, he went for the Nexus Blades. Okay.
I mean, that's okay. That's more damage. It's not as long of a Shadow Assault, but I don't suppose you need to worry about that when you're just doing more burst damage in general. So that's really, really cool. I'm really happy to see this. I think this Zeratul's terrifying.
Yeah, the Zeratul, I did not expect this when he was picked.
This is a build I did a long time ago, and I really loved it every time. Not reliably good, but with a Divine Shield on top of you, it's doing so much. And he's going to blow up this Kel'Thas really quickly. Going to have to blink himself away as the Divine Shield's not ready to be put on him. Uther's actually taking a lot of damage here, and he will end up having to use the Divine Shield on himself. So this is where the Zeratul's going to look to Shadow Assault the Kel'Thas right now. But the Malfurion taking a lot of damage. He's going to always be able to kill the Kel'Thas. Malfurion going to ice block his way through this. The Uther has already died, but the healing coming out from the Uther is going to be enough to keep his team alive as the Zeratul cleans up the Johanna. And on the backlines, Malfurion's going to die, as is the Auric. The Rain are going to get killed by the Zeratul, and this is another 5-man wipe. Not for naught, though, this time, as they do pick up the 4th kill in favour of Atrox Green.
Uther, however, did have his redemption, so it was definitely could have been a planned thing there to use Uther as the distraction, keep him alive for as long as possible. If he falls down, well, we all know Uther is much, much stronger healing when he's dead, and then he will eventually come back and heal some more.
Nexus Frenzy taken on the Tyrande here. So again, these are not bad picks, unusual picks, and show a massive show of confidence. Some people could call it bad manner, but I don't think it's bad manner. I think it's 1 out of 5, showing how versatile of a team they are by coming with these unusual picks, these unusual talent picks, should I say, and basically saying, look, we can play these heroes any way we like. Because they proved to us before that they can play them in a more, quote unquote, conventional way. So now they're playing all of these heroes in a slightly different way, and it's working out well for them.
Yeah, the meta is open to change. That is one thing you always do need to remember. And I mean, we saw a Murky in a full World Championship competitive game in a comp that nobody expected it, and it worked fantastically. This is them showing that these heroes don't have to be used in the cut and paste way that you do see. And you can give
this fight actually happening with Sylvanas is going to land a Wailing Arrow. I mean, everybody's dead. The Auric died pretty quickly. The Johanna, the Malfurion, in fact, died first. He got blown up. Zeratul, despite having Divine Shield, not going to be able to body block the Kel'Thas out from that. That's going to be GG, well played for 1 out of 5. Yeah, so they end up winning, and I win my bet.
Picking up the bets, are you? Well done.